It was a cold, wet night in March of 1945 near Dortmund, Germany. The third night like it. Dortmund is just east of the Netherlands border, whatever the term border meant anymore. Not that any night in Dortmund was anything to write home about. A heavy mist was falling about the immense petroleum installation, surrounded on all sides by a broad open pasture. The small fire of scrap lumber and dry grass choked the four men huddled below the tarp much more than it warmed them. They shared a 20-foot by 30-foot hole in the ground they had chosen for their card game with an anti-aircraft gun, a big one. Just one of 6 such holes dug in the mud to protect the oil refinery. Mostly it was a dark, damp hole to take turns napping in. Not tonight. The corporal of the guard left his cozy, rain-proof tin shack to make a few rounds each evening. He splashed around the perimeter of the compound in that rickety old half-track with the leaky exhaust, if it even had an exhaust. Parts were awful hard to come by these days. All the good stuff going off to France. One of the men turned his no-good hand of cards toward the ground to check his wristwatch. Hey, you gonna bet or what? Wait a second. Sounds like that nearsighted overfed corporal, about 10 minutes early, though. Just then, a small formation of hulking but deliberate aircraft lurched up and over the hillsides, almost 3 miles to the west, as if they had just scraped their bellies on a barn roof, the low staccato drone they had all shared since leaving Nottingham now breaking free into 5 glorious individual roars of defiance. About 90 seconds later, "Holy my grandmama! It's no truck! Pull the tarp! Hoist the gun!" Fast nearing the zone, Captain. Do we look to be ready? Ready? We'd better be ready. I've been ready since we cleared the field. Yes, we're ready. Well, look, take a second reading, won't you? Roger. Will do, Captain. No change, sir. Staying the heading. Very good, then. Let's announce ourselves, shall we, Mr. Bradford? Yes, sir. Knocking on the front door now, sir. Pulling the release cable to let go the payload and brace himself for the nearly immediate increase in altitude, Lieutenant Thomas Bradford took in a very deep breath. The captain, he took a pretty deep one as well. Matter of fact, this was the nearly 60th such breath Captain Lyle Farquharson would take in his 4-year role to bring an end to the Second World War. Over 60 missions above hostile ground through hostile skies, delivering pinpoint, punishing payloads where they might do the most good, stopping the bad that had crept across Europe like a wildfire. Born in the Malay region in 1919, Bill's dad was a policeman. His early life was spent there and in Australia before the family moved to Britain, where he attended academy in Dundee and then the Technical College in Birmingham. 1941 came, and Farquharson joined the RAF with his eyes eagerly focused on pilot training school. The following year found him among the ranks of the 115th Bomber Squadron. A good portion of his time with them was spent harassing U-boat bases, carefully targeting aerial mining of the entrance channels. After the war in '53, he was very much honored to head the flypast, leading the RAF squadron in an overhead salute at that year's Royal Coronation. Flying instruction took up much of the balance of his service with the RAF, including the highly advanced Meteor Jet fighter program. In about 1976, he retired from his post as air attaché in Poland. The industry of air flight simulation was home to this much-celebrated airborne warrior for the last chapter of his career. Just weeks before his death in 2009, Captain Bill Farquharson attended the opening of the Bomber Command Memorial, where the Queen was presiding over the ceremony. Fide Et Fortitudine. Please like, share, and subscribe to the Chestnut channel, home of the Wildcat clans on YouTube. Thank you, my friends.